I'd say my big red flag for either photographers or videographers is when they start acting really annoyed or like really mad at you whenever you do different poses or anything. If just general rude demeanor, I find it's really off-putting, and I just don't like working with people who are just too pushy.
So red flags for me when I'm asked for my photo is when they try to make me go somewhere by myself, alone. I'm not allowed to bring friends. Like, that's a little bit weird.
It's definitely when photographers are like way too eager to help me pose and are like a little too handsy, as well as like asking me to go to like a secondary location than the convention center to take photos is like a hard no.
I would say a good red flag is if they're not giving you like proper eye contact and where their eyes are following on your cosplay, and just body language. You have to kind of really pay attention to who's trying to take pictures of you for photography reasons and for other reasons.
If a photographer comes up to me and they're, excited and polite and just they seem really put together and give off a really good vibe, then absolutely I'm, totally happy to take pictures. It's all about that first interaction, Yeah,
I like to see the same passion for the character from the photographer that we have cosplaying the character, because that kind of dual passion, I think, makes for the most authentic photographs.
I would say a big red flag would be when they try to get an awkward angle with their camera, either from below or from above, to try to get a sneaky shot.
I would say when they try to touch you or put their arm around you or anything without consenting with you first, just to be a creep, I guess. It's not a lot of fun, and then it makes you not really trust a bunch of other photographers because you don't know their intentions.
I would say my biggest red flag would have to be if he has just some sort of like waifu shirt. For some reason, waifu shirts, they always steer you wrong every time.
One red flag I would notice when working with photographers is photographers that don't respect your boundaries and continue to pressure you to do something that you don't feel comfortable doing.
A wet flag for us would be if the photographer would be a little bit too pushy for our taste.
Yeah, I would say that would be the case for anything really. I mean, if they are really, corralling you into getting into a shoot, like, come on, do it.
Yeah, and just like trying to like get you alone and such, because that is just a red flag. Like somewhere secluded, not even out in the open.
Yeah, and in general, that's just weird.
Yeah, and cosplay does not equal consent.
If they're pushy, if they are demanding, and if they're only going after people who are very scantily clad.
If they're overly controlling and overly demanding and they don't give you a lot of freedom to be yourself and express yourself.
So I'd say a big red flag for me for cosplayers and photographers basically is specifically for cosplayers when they treat you badly, like they say, oh yeah, I kicked you because it's what my character would do. Like, no, that's just invading personal boundaries and it's not okay. So I'd say things like that.
I would say a big red flag for photographers is when they don't really ask like your references or your angles or anything, and they just kind of take the picture straight up and you don't really like how they look. Or when they treat you like a character, because I've had a few people do that to me while taking my pictures.
I'd say my biggest red flag with photographers is when they start taking pictures without your consent, or like when they don't ask you or your group to take pictures.
My red flag is when they either come to you while you're eating or if they ask to step on you.
If like someone asks for like a photo and they're like, oh, like come outside of the convention, like they're like, oh, come outside like these doors and like pose like out here, and they're not wearing like any sort of like con like badge or staff or anything, but they have like really professional cameras. It's like,
If they just look like normal people, but they're like really, really pushy about it, I don't know. It kind of gives...
yeah, it's red flags, bad vibes.